career. He's really been hurt. He's gone down before one time, but there was a perfect left hand. Roy never saw it coming. Roy is out. And Roy may be out of boxing.
And that's why Tarver wanted to be the counterpuncher, because he answered Roy's right hand.
We stood for two different things. He was a social media blowout. He blew it away. You feel me? And that fit his character.
After a video clip surfaced online, showing Floyd Mayweather watching Roy Jones Jr.'s knockout loss to Antonio Tarver, the internet exploded. In the footage, Mayweather is seen smiling and nodding as Jones gets dropped by a counter left hook. That knockout happened in 2004 and marked a major turning point in Roy's career. Now, years later, Mayweather seems to be using it as fuel in their long-running feud, a rivalry that arguably started with Roy. But if Floyd expected silence, he clearly misread the situation.
Oh, he the greatest fighter all the time? Nah. Chavez was 80-0 at one point. 80. He could have retired at 80-0. You go ever top that? No. He just didn't stop, right? You got to 50 and you stopped because of Rocky Marciano.
Right.
So Rocky died. If he wouldn't die, he probably would have kept going too. So and then at the end, you fight a guy that's 0-0 for number 50. How can I?
Roy Jones fired back with familiar jabs, repeating what he said for years. He downplayed Floyd as someone who was brilliant at business, but far less exciting inside the ring. For Roy, legacy isn't about numbers and titles. It's about the kind of fighter you were, the risks you embraced, and the unforgettable highlights you delivered. That's where he believes he has the advantage. Back in 2018, he gave an interview where he spelled it out. Floyd may have mastered the money game, but Roy brought the electricity. He insisted their careers can't be compared and even claimed that no one from any era could do what he did. Unsurprisingly, that rubbed Mayweather's fans the wrong way.
I would not be able to take credit for beating Pacquiao after he got knocked out by Marquez, because that's not the same Pacquiao.
Of course.
That's not the Pacquiao at the top of his game.
Yeah, of course.
But in society today, we'll call that person the best fighter ever.
Of course.
And Roy didn't stop there. In a more recent interview on All the Smoke fight, he invoked Sugar Ray Leonard to strengthen his case to Roy. Leonard was a more dangerous fighter than Mayweather, not because of achievements, but because of mentality. Leonard was fierce. He fought with attitude and aggression, something Roy feels Floyd never showed. His message was clear. Talent alone isn't enough. You need toughness. You need fight. And in Roy's opinion, Floyd never had that. That sentiment brings the whole feud full circle. After years of taking shots from Roy, Floyd finally responded in the most Floyd way possible, asterisk.
Musty energy.
Lord child, the man Floyd Money Mayweather is watching video of Roy Jones getting knocked out. Yeah, man. Roy Jones absolutely getting cooked. And all this is because Floyd Money Mayweather is upset at Roy Jones Jr. for Roy saying that Floyd could not beat a prime Sugar Ray Leonard. Lord child.
No interviews, no press conferences, just a few clips quietly posted to his Instagram stories. One of Roy Jones Jr. getting knocked out by Tarver. Another showing him laid out after his fight with Glenn Johnson. No words, just video. But the message was loud and clear. While Roy brags about his highlights, Floyd is reminding everyone of his downfalls. And because Floyd was never knocked out, never seriously hurt, and never caught using banned substances, the contrast speaks volumes. Mayweather is drawing a line in the sand, the undefeated technician versus the showman, who flew too close to the flame. Naturally, fans jumped in on both sides.
If you let him move around and do what he want to do, he's going to beat you, because he's very explosive and he's very mean.
I was going to say mean
too. To me, people don't give him enough credit. People always say, well, Floyd would beat Sugar. No, baby, Floyd is not as nearly as mean as Sugar was.
You don't think he would have beat him?
How? How you gonna keep him off of him? Right. Sugar is a dog. Just cause his name Sugar don't mean nothing. Yeah. Sugar is a dog. People don't give him enough credit for that. You gotta think, this in around, between around 13 and 14, I think, Angelo Dundee said, you're blowing it, son.
Online forums and social platforms were flooded with reactions. One user joked that Roy should have seen it coming, given Floyd's reputation for calculated pettiness and mental warfare. Another pointed out that Floyd went his whole career without a knockout loss or a positive drug test. On the flip side, Roy had his defenders. They argued his career was full of explosive moments because he took real risks. One fan sarcastically said Roy should have just cherry-picked his opponents like Floyd implying Roy's losses came from chasing true greatness, while Floyd avoided danger.
You know, we stood for two different things. You know, he was a social media blowout. You know, he blew it away. You feel me? And that fit his character because he could do it, you know, and do things the way he did it. He was smarter. I wanted to play King of the Hill. He didn't care to play King of the Hill. He wanted to play King of the Field, which he did.
But the truth, as always, lives somewhere in between. Floyd did face top-tier fighters like Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, Miguel Cotto, and Marcos Maidana. His career wasn't easy, just strategic. Still, the contrast in style is what defines the divide. Roy was known for flair, danger, and dominance. He threw triple left hooks with his hands down. He moved up to heavyweight and still looked untouchable. He made elite opponents look second-rate. But after that loss to Tarver, everything changed. His speed declined, his reflexes slowed, and the wrist began to catch up. Glenn Johnson knocked him out cold. Later, he suffered defeats to lesser-known fighters in small venues, far from the pay-per-view spotlight.
You mentioned Floyd. Where would you put him in the rankings? Mayweather, where would you put him?
Who?
All right, let me ask you a question.
If you don't respect Muhammad Ali, how can I respect you?
Floyd never experienced that kind of downfall. He retired at the top, undefeated, unharmed, and later returned for exhibition fights that earned him millions. From his perspective, he ran his career like a business empire. He calls himself the best ever, not just for his wins, but for avoiding the same mistakes that ruined others. He sees Roy as someone who failed to protect his legacy. And by posting those knockout clips, Floyd's reminding the world of that downfall. But Roy, he doesn't flinch. He still believes he had the better talent, the speed, the angles, the showmanship. Even if the ending wasn't perfect, Roy believes the journey was worth it. And that's the point he's always tried to make. True greatness isn't just about staying undefeated. It's about what you gave the fans along the way.
Well, we want to know, in the least amount of fights, you know, I didn't have to have 70 fights, or 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
Roy doesn't need to repeat himself anymore. He said it all. He sees Floyd as a master businessman, not a fearless fighter. Someone who dodged danger instead of walking into it. A man who built a legacy on defense and profits while Roy built his on risk and heart to Roy. Those Instagram videos only confirm what he already believes, that Floyd is more focused on image than meaning.
Easy that everybody keep asking me, why you not coming back to fight? Why you not coming back to fight? So I look at the fight game, I said, okay. I said, you know, fighters fighting, they make 3 million, 4 million, 6 million, 7 million. Some may make 10 or 20 million, but I'm doing exhibitions and I'm making 20, 25 million, 100 million for exhibitions. So why would I come back and fight and get a guarantee?
Roy's not alone in that belief. Many boxing analysts over the years have voiced similar opinions. They've pointed to Floyd's careful matchmaking, his ultra-defensive style, and his habit of waiting for the perfect moment to take a fight. Meanwhile, Floyd's loyalists argue his record speaks for itself. Wins over a young Canelo, a seasoned Pacquiao, a gritty Maidana, and a savvy Cotto. They say going 50-0 while breaking pay-per-view records proves it all.
The money, so important. Why do you always come back to the dollars? People want to know.
Why not? I mean, everything you got on costs money. You can't take your wife on a date for free.
Is that how you measure your success?
No. Me, I'm loyal and honest, and I'm a good person, and I call a spade a spade. Money don't make me, I make money. And without money, I'd be the same person. I fought so many fights for free.
The fire between these two isn't just about knockouts or belts. It's about mindset. Roy believes in giving fans what they came to see. Floyd believes in giving them what they'll pay to watch. Roy fought for pride and legacy. Floyd fought for precision and profit. Roy took fights that made no financial sense just for the challenge. Floyd waited until every factor was perfect. Roy rolled the dice every time. Floyd calculated every move. These aren't just career paths, they're worldviews. And that's why the tension between them won't ever really fade away.